Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So, in the last episode, I did a brief tour of the Salesforce org, Einstein Copilot Salesforce org, to be precise. And I did mention right in the next episode, I'll be talking about um, Copilot actions. Right? How do you create a Copilot action? So, what I'll do today, I'll use some Apex code and I'll show you the Apex code which I built, and I'll show you how to troubleshoot or to view certain things using a um, Copilot builder. Now, obviously, you can use this Copilot in your Sales cloud. You can use that in your Service Cloud. You can use that in other clouds as well, right? And it is a powerful Copilot. But that being said, right, um, if you ask me, is it a cutting edge tech? Um, it's okay, I would say, right? It is driven by natural language processing. So compared to what we had in the previous years, I would say we have done a pretty good job in terms of AI revolution. So that's exactly what you're going to see over the course of few years, right? Uh, then more and more Copilot stuff will happen. Like for instance, Microsoft has their own Copilot, right, for the teams, and it's pretty useful. Um, okay, so what I'll do today, right? So I'll show you a scenario, and I'll also show you why do we need to create an action for that, right? Okay, so I'll go to the setup here. So obviously, if you've been using Salesforce for a while, you know how to go to setup, right? Go to this geckos icon top here, and then setup, right? Okay, under quick find, I'm gonna do type Copilot, and obviously this is a trial org, right? So, and you might have this option in enterprise org at work. So, either way, this information will be useful. So, we got different options here, right? Einstein Copilot actions, Einstein Copilot. Now, before I show you, how you can go and build your action, I just wanted to give you a scenario and make you understand why do we need an action. Okay, so let me go to the action first. Obviously, you know, I've created an action before, so I'll show you how I did it. So you got all these actions here, right? Standard, except the create an opportunity one, which is a custom one, which I built it to save time. Now, everything is an action when it comes to Copilot, right? Now, obviously, Salesforce will give you a few out of box standard option, which is great. But that being said, you might realize over the course of time when you start using it that these standard actions are quite limited in their use case. So you might need to build your own Copilot action. So the way you do it, so you go here, right? And then you have option to choose either Apex or Flow or prompt template, right? So obviously you can do your Flow and then you can hook it up here, or you can use your Apex, you can hook it up there. And now you must be thinking, right, why do I need to use Apex or when I can use Flow? For complex operation, right, you can use Apex. It's more convenient and it's more scalable compared to flows. I mean, I understand that if you're an admin who is not comfortable with the code, you might be tempted to use flow. And if the flow is capable of doing what you want it to do and is scalable and it's not impacting the performance, sure, go with the flow, right? Uh, but my theory is for any complex server side process, it's better to use Apex Overflow. So far, what I've seen with respect to the performance. Then you have a prompt template, right? So if you choose an Apex here, and you obviously you can pick from an Apex class. Right now, I got only one, which I've created. And obviously, before you do this step, right, you need to have an Apex action, invocable Apex created. So which I'll show you in a second. And then you go next and next and kind of things. And And then what happened in the final stage, you will get this. I'll edit and show you. Um, you will get all of this stuff here, right? Obviously, one thing you need to remember, Copilot action instruction is very important, because the reason why I say it's important, right? The Copilot sits on top of LLM, the large language model. And LLM is the way you interact with LLM is using NLP, that's the natural language processing. And now, obviously, NLP means you are going to use a simple English or the way you communicate, right? So that's why it's important to have the information so that it gives you the right uh, and expected output. And then you have input-output mapping. You can input and you can output. If you want to collect the data from a user, you take it. If you don't want to collect the data from a user, you don't take it, because if you want to collect the data from a user when you are interacting with a chat, it will give you an option to say, hey, enter this data, enter that data, right? So that's where this option is important. And usually it's a good option if you wanted to, if you, so this is a great option if you're expecting a bot to do a certain activity based on a user input or a user feedback. And then, yeah, and so this is how it normally looks like. And now this, obviously, this action is not assigned to any copilot. So we'll look into that, right, in a second. Okay, so this is a very basic about, how do you go about creating a copilot custom action using an Apex, right? Obviously, you need to create an Apex, and I'll show you, we'll get into that in a second. Now, what I'll do, copilot, and this is the most important place. Obviously, any action you create, apart from a standard action, you need to assign that action um, to this copilot which you have here. Since I'm using a single, it's a trial version, so that's why you see a single copilot. Um, so so I go here, and then obviously you can see all the actions that's been assigned. You can see all of these standard actions, this copilot uh, associated with it. And now, if you wanted to test the behavior to see, hey, I have a chatbot sitting here, I have a copilot sitting here, I wanted to see what's capable of doing, right? Okay, so let's go to Open Builder. So this is where you can see all the good stuff happening. It's one of also you can see that the builder is a place where you can troubleshoot if there's a problem, right? So for whatever reason, let's say you build a custom action and you realize that it's not giving the desired output, so you can come here and you can troubleshoot it. So what I'm going to do, I will ask the conversation preview window to create an opportunity for me for a specific account. Okay, can you create create an opportunity for me for an account named Gene Point. So let's see what happens. And you can see here the thing's going to happen. It started to analyze, figuring out the next steps. Okay, so you see it started the process here. I can help you with, but I can't create opportunity directly. Anything else I can assist with? See? This is something I want. I'll say, look, I want to create an opportunity for me, right? I don't want it to go to the record. I just said this is a gene point. I just had a conversation with one of um, the VP, the vice president of the gene point, and they wanted to proceed with some of the stuff we want to sell. So create an opportunity for me, right? Which is not capable of doing, because the reason why it's not capable of doing, because there is no action associated with create opportunity here. Yeah, there's no action associated. So what I want this chat to take an opportunity name and then ask me a few questions. Hey, give me your closing date, give me an amount, give me an opportunity name, and the stage, right? And then if I provide the chat this information, it should create an opportunity for me and link the opportunity to whatever account I want to link it to, right? So how do you do that? You create a custom action, and to create a custom action, we're going to use Apex here. So what I've already did that, to save time. And obviously, you go to the Gecko icon, you go to Developer Console, and I'll show you. It's very, very simple code. If you have done, invocable Apex before, you would find it, a piece of a cake. Okay, so this is a normal Apex class, right? And then I have an invocable method. So I'll put a label here, and I'm passing an opportunity, input and output. So obviously you can pass multiple inputs, right? And then, it's a very simple code. uh, just putting the account name into the list, and then just running the map to get the account based on account name. And then what I'm doing, I'm trying to create an opportunity based on information that's been provided to this method using an input param. And then all of this stuff, yeah. And then you have an output. This is what you're going to display. And this is the input one, right? And make sure the descriptions are very important. Yeah. Otherwise, it's sometimes like a bit strange. So this is all invocable variable. So obviously, if you have done invocable methods before, you know what I'm talking about. So it's very simple, right? If you look at it, it took me like 10 minutes to write it. It's not complicated. So you do all the logic here. That's why the code is not very clean, because I could have, obviously I don't write code this way because it's just a quick and dirty, because I use selector class separate and update happen separate. So I like the separation of concern, right? But this is just to show you guys the proof of concept. So this invocable Apex class will fetch an account based on an account name, and then create a create an opportunity and link that opportunity to the specific account. Sounds simple, right, so far? Okay, so this specific create opportunity action is what you have seen um, in that Apex. Let me go back. Um, so if we go, sorry, not the here, Einstein Copilot. So now, as you can see, that I have a invocable apex. So obviously it needs to be linked, right? To make sure that Einstein Copilot understand it is a part of a Copilot action, right? And that's where you use this option to go here and choose apex and choose this one. And then you can do next, and you can see that, right? And you obviously make sure you fill the instruction here, what you need to do, which is very important. And then, like I said, it's an input, collect data from a user. Obviously, I want data from user, and I want to show this in the conversation. I obviously put a tick to that. And then, yeah, and if you want to make it as a required input, you can do that here. And yeah, that's, once you do that, you got an action creator here. Yeah. Now, obviously, this needs to be linked to an existing Copilot. That's where I mentioned that you have a Copilot here, and I need to link it to this, right? So I go here, the Copilot builder. I can close it here, right? No problem. So I go here. So I hope you guys understood the use case I'm trying to do, right? I want to create an opportunity. So I do open in builder, and Obviously, now as you can see that that action is not assigned here. It needs to be assigned, but to do that, you need to deactivate this one first. And what I'll do, Copilot action library, I select here, assign to Copilot. You can see the Copilot action library here, and I'll activate it. Okay, now if I go to Copilot action, you can see create an opportunity. Now you see the difference now. Create an opportunity for me, please, for the account named Gene Point. Yeah, it's gonna take a few seconds, and you'll see all the information coming up here. I can help you create an opportunity. See that? Now it's the difference. Close date. Let's say I wanted to put it as like 31st amount. Let's say $1,000. Opportunity name uh, Gene Point opportunity. Right. Stage name progress. Whatever I put it. You can improve it, but I'm just showing you. Submit. Okay. Now you see it's already I submitted. Now it's asking me confirmation. All right, I should proceed with creating. Are you sure? Okay, you can say confirm. Analyzing request. Okay, now you can see that it is the input and this is the output. Okay. Okay, so now we got an issue here because you couldn't find uh, an account with the name GenePoint, which is fine, which you can see that here. It says it couldn't find it, so obviously that's fine. Now let's look at the opportunity account name. Maybe it's not a GenePoint, it's something else. Okay, let's look at. That's interesting. Let me try it again. Create opportunity for the account. Okay, not sure what happened there. Sometimes, okay. Should I proceed with creating a GenePoint opportunity with, okay, confirm. Okay, clear the screen. This is how I usually do in the Ubuntu screen. Okay, I cannot perform this task. See, okay, let me try that again, right? Let me go back. It's acting a bit funny, um, but let me try that again. Let me try a separate account. For some reason, it's interesting. But it was working before though, right? I mean, obviously, that's not a very good um, pacing, but okay. Let's see. Let me try this again. Yeah. Create an opportunity for the account. All right, I will try this. I'll put this one. I'll just put $100. Um, up. Great. Now the opportunity has been created. Fantastic, right? Let's look at the opportunity created. It doesn't take you anywhere, but that's okay. And let me refresh it. And let's look at it. If you got any opportunity created for this one, there you go. And fantastic, right? So this is one of the use case, right? Obviously, I understand that it was a bit clunky for whatever reason, and I was not able to find. Uh, that's one of the thing with LLM, right? You use prompt engineering to fine tune your outcome, and the more you do it, it will give you a better outcome, right? Obviously, you need to have your model that's been trained, right? You are not expecting to. So people is this is not really an artificial intelligence. I mean, if I'll be very honest, you're using an NLP to get the stuff back, right? It's just an interface that's been built on top of the LLM, right? So that's what's happening. But yes, the one of the advantages that the people who are not tech savvy people, who got no interest in learning ML, machine learning, or deep learning, they rather prefer to be user. For them, this kind of things is really handy, right? And at the end of the day, artificial intelligence should be user friendly, right? Because you're building it for the users. So yeah, that's pretty much I wanted to cover. I hope you enjoyed this session, uh, and I'm optimistic, right? That this Copilot will be more and more business will be using over the course of time, as long as Salesforce keep the prices a bit low. I know that the product's a bit expensive, and sometimes it's hard to justify the use case. But that being said, right? If you are using Salesforce, and I think having a Copilot will give you that boost in terms of performance and automating a lot of things. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in this episode. Hope you guys having an amazing Thursday. Adios.